Hi everyone. Despite the fact that this video is really quick, what I'm actually sure of is that it's going to save our uni students many hours of their time, but also stress, right from the moment that they start university. And that is because it's around email etiquette. Now, that might seem like a really obvious or straightforward or simple topic, but what I would say is, as someone who used to be a school teacher receiving emails from my school students, and now as a senior lecturer, I receive many hundreds of emails from students in any given semester. And what I've noticed is there are some really small, quick things that a lot of students could do to make that communication far more streamlined and helpful to themselves. I would also say that there's a proportion of students in any given semester who always get themselves really quite stressed because they feel like they're not getting an email reply as quickly as they would like, or they need to go back and forwards with staff a lot of times and they're still not getting their needs met. And so there are some really quick things, again, that those students can do just to take all of the anxiety around that communication, which is particularly useful when you're coming into things like assessments or a census date or needing extensions or personal circumstances. So here they are. First things first, always make sure when you're emailing a staff member that you're doing so from your student email address. And I don't mean only communicate with staff members at university that way. You should absolutely be going into campus. You should be going to your learning activities, whether they're face-to-face or online. You should be interacting with other students in your classes. So definitely do all those other things. But if you do find yourself in a circumstance where you need to send an email, always do it from your university account. The reason for that is that university staff, because you are now deemed to be an adult and you're an independent learner, university staff have to maintain your confidentiality when they're talking to you about things like your enrolment or assessments or grades or special circumstances. All of those things would fall under that category as something that needs to be kept confidential. And the way they maintain your confidentiality is by making sure they're talking to you personally. So that means with your university email account. So always start from there. You might be tempted to use a personal account because you've been using one for years, but actually as a convener, if I receive an email from a student and it's their personal account, I actually can't respond appropriately because I'm not allowed to give away any information about that student. So first things first, if you want to get an email back straight away that actually answers your question or contains the relevant information, you must email from your student account. On top of that, what I would recommend is the minute you get access to that student account, so this is going to be well before the semester starts, you should set yourself up an email signature. So save it so that it's always on the bottom of all of your outgoing emails. It should contain your full name. It should also contain a nickname if that's what you go by and the staff are likely to know you by that nickname. So your full name, a nickname if you have one, your unique student ID, and the last thing it should also contain is your course name and course code. So for example, if you're studying a Bachelor of Business and Marketing, there will be a unique course code that goes with that, maybe, I don't know, M253, I've just made that up off the top of my head. But what that means is if your email signature always contains your full name, your student ID, and your course name and code, even if you might forget to put a particularly relevant detail in the body of your email, the staff member who's received it is always going to have enough information available to them to look your particular circumstances up on their university system so they can give you the best, most timely help that they can based on whatever question you happen to have. Finally, what I would say is if you're emailing a unit convener or a teaching staff member, so these are the people who whose job it is to facilitate the subjects that you study at university, I would also always put in the unit name and unit code associated with your question. And the reason for that is even though most of your school teachers, their primary job is to teach you, actually most of the people you meet at university who are teaching you, they might have a separate primary job or a separate set of tasks that they're also trying to do that are equally as important. For example, like research. And so they can't guarantee that most of their emails are coming from students. They're going to be getting emails from many people that actually have nothing to do with the teaching of their units. Vice versa, as an education-focused academic, the largest unit I've ever convened had 470 students in it, but I was also teaching into other units at the same time. So having that unit code in there and all that information with your name and so on and so forth really helps me as a convener make sure I can help you out as soon as possible. Alright, if you can get those couple of things done, make sure you only ever email from your university account, and also making sure that you have that signature set up right from the word go. You are essentially going to be sorted when it comes to email communication. I hope that really helped.